What's going on, guys? Welcome into John Oberg Stadium. We have Delsea's last home game. As you can see, we'll pass haven't gotten up par. What do you think the difference for Delsea with the momentum they're building with Milo back under center will be to take down a team that may not be in their best shape and form in Millville this year?
Yeah, I mean, coming into this game or when the schedule got released, you would assume that this is going to be one of Delsea's tougher tests, and it still might be. I mean, Millville's record might not reflect how talented they are based on the schedule that they played, but coming in here at 1-4 for Millville, it's definitely been a down year for the Thunder and Herd, and going to remain to be seen how Delsea measures up with this Millville team. But like you said, Delsea has to have a lot of confidence coming into this game, knowing they do come in with only a record of 3-2, but they are 3-0 in the games that Milo started to.
As we're going to stand for the national anthem real quickly. Silence.
We are consistent. Please ask that you all rise from your hats during the playing of our national school band.
His national anthem is ready and set to go.
As we just got through the national anthem here in Franklinville, we're at both teams line up for the coin toss and see who gets the ball first. Delsea comes into this game. Oh, you're right, Sean. How could I forget my favorite players out there right now? Number 24, Logan Cordero. That's a name I don't even have to look at the roster sheet anymore. I just got the jersey in my backpack. So Delsea's going to kick off to start here. I was just about to mention Delsea's 3-2 on the season, and an unfamiliar territory for Millville being 1-4 to start this season. They just send a skill position player to Alabama. That just shows the type of talent that's coming from that town.
Yeah, I feel like Millville and Winslow are the two teams in South Jersey that are loaded with skill position players. Glassboro, obviously, as well.
And that was, I think, Millville's last game was versus Winslow.
Yeah, that last year, that was a great game.
This year, not so much, 49-6, but that just shows you the year-to-year. But now we have the kickoff here from John Oberg Stadium. Logan Cordero ready to get a set. And here we go. Nice little bloop kick to about the 30-yard line. As he's gobbled up quickly. Looks like the ball's going to be set at the 30-yard line for Millville to start their first possession for the Thunderbolts. As you can see, Delsea sporting their normal red uniforms, and Millville with the white tops and the blue bottoms. So Millville comes out and what looks like a little trip set to the right side for their first offensive play of the game. Shotgun snap thrown into the flat. Little swing pass. Doesn't gain too much. Delsea does a good job pursuit on the play. Maybe a gain of...
Every week, Zach, Delsa's corners always maintain the edge, and it allows the flow to come over and make a tackle for a short game.
For sure. And I feel like they've seen the swing pass a lot recently, especially last week. That was something Tim McCree tried to exploit with that. The spread offense out of shotgun is something they just consistently see. So now I feel like they're getting a little bit more comfortable what they're to expect on the defensive side of the ball.
It's also where you feel like Delsea comes in the game a lot of times with an advantage because Delsea sees the spread offense, the spread a lot, and teams don't really see it unless everybody else sees that win team.
For sure. As Millville set for 2nd and 7. A little run up the middle. Solid gain on the play. Going to be close to a first down. We'll see what the official spot. And the chains are moving. It will be a first down. As they're back up on the ball at the 42-yard line for 1st and 10. Looks like an early movement here. See if it's an encroachment on the defense. There's always action in the trenches in the Delsea games, man. It's either side. It's either Delsea gets a little jumpy early or the other team. Delsea a little anxious early, give an extra 5 yards. So Millville will start with a 1st and 5 from the 47-yard line, 3 yards away from Delsea territory to start the opening drive. Almost 2 minutes off the clock here, 10:20 to be exact. Another shotgun look, exclusive for Millville so far tonight. As they're shifting back under center, did they just get the 5 yards back up?
Yeah, it looks like Delsea a little motion on the D line might have caused Millville to jump right there.
Well, that's why I like the 3-3 stack, because you can condense it at the last second with a call and really confuse the offensive linemen. They get a little anxious because they're confused on what gap you're actually squeezing down into. So the 3-3 stack, the linebackers really predominate off of the holes that are given open with who the linemen are lining up on. But when you move last second, it really switches up the dynamic. But 1st and 10 again from the 42-yard line for Millville. There's another handoff inside. Almost back to where they were supposed to start at. Maybe a gain of 3 on the play. Adrian was a huge star in the last game, carrying the ball on both sides of the ball. Had a little bit of a scare, too, when he went out with an injury. We didn't know how they were going to respond because he was really holding their offense together, and then he came back in, and they finished the job. So they're looking to get the job done again. For sure. As Millville is set to go 2nd and 8 from the 44-yard line. Man in motion here. Looks like a little jet sweep to the boundary. Broken tackle. That's going to get them past another broken tackle down the sidelines. Gain about 20 yards in the play. This is by far the fastest tempo that Delsea's defense has had to deal with all season long, especially with the spread and the up-tempo look from that. I mean, this is just a dynamic I haven't even seen. I mean, because it was more so Washington Township. They would run the ball inside, and then they would hit an explosive play, but they haven't seen somebody that really has moved this quickly.
Majority of the team plays both ways, so it's going to be interesting to see how that tempo plays out as the game gets on.
As Millville set up from the Delsea 39 with a 1st and 10 look here on the first drive. Another man in motion. Inside run is stuffed right back at the line of scrimmage. Flash it. And we always know Luke's lurking somewhere back there. So every time I feel like he's acting a little quiet, that's when he rises to the occasion. So we'll see what number 11 here has planned. As it's 2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line. It was a good decision from the Millville quarterback as he pumps into the flat here and then finds a guy over in the middle of the field on a slant route. That's going to be a first down.
I think he wanted the swing pass again, but Delsea
It was great coverage, but also there was another option on the route as well, and he made the right decision. And a legal man downfield, Sean. That was exactly what I was just about to say. Is I was wondering, did we get a sight on the opposite line? Because usually on a play like that, where you got a slant on an RPO and a swing route, somebody's got to be going down early. Yeah. So, he, like you said, he really looked. He was going to throw that to the swing, and the corner was already there in cover 2, and that's what opened up the middle. But there had to be offensive linemen down the field by that time. Agree. Because he was trying to get out for the blocks on the second level. So now we have a 2nd and 16 from the 45-yard line of Delsea. Trip set to the right side, running back to that side as well as we have a pass. It's a little bit high. Oh, and it's intercepted. What a play. That's a St. Joe's transfer right there, making a huge play. You said the edges need to get a little bit better, and I was just about to make a mention of the St. Joe's transfers and what they can do in that department on both sides of the ball, and we see it firsthand with the Keaton Doyle interception.
Right there. We saw that. I mean, it didn't really happen against Washington Township, but against them, this Delsea secondary does have some balls.
And I was just about to say a little bit of high of a throw, and I didn't think it was going to get interception, but you got to capitalize when the ball is not in the exact spot it needs to be because the receiver was open. But Delsea takes over for their first opposite possession on the Millville 30-yard line. As a handoff to Adrian Shepard, gains about 5 yards. That's exactly what I want to see from the fullback every time. I don't want to see any north. I don't want to see any east and west from a fullback. I want to see north and south.
That right there is so important to the Delsea offense that if you can go ahead and get 5 yards and really put the Delsea offense in the situation where they want to be, because we don't necessarily have to force a big play.
100%. As Delsea gets set for a 2nd and 5 from the 35-yard line. Wing back in motion here. As another handoff gets stuffed inside. But Sean, I referenced that team that won the state title back in 2023, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody in that backfield get tackled in the backfield. It just felt like they went north and south every single play.
I mean, you're talking about guys, that was a loaded backfield back then for the Delsea Crusaders.
Yeah.
I also feel like for the majority of my life, Delsea had a loaded backfield.
Yeah, exactly.
The 35-yard line, 3rd and 5.
But it's weird, like most teams, like their tailback or wing back is like predominantly like the best running back. But I feel like a lot of times Delsea team, like the fullback is the best running back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. As Delsea gets set for a 3rd and 5 as the snap. Another handoff up the middle. Nothing doing too much there. As Delsea's actually going to bring out the punt crew. As they get stuffed at the line of scrimmage on back-to-back plays, and it's going to set up a 4th and 5. Not to be too critical of the Delsea play calling here, as I have a close connection to it, but no carries from Milo on the first drive is not something that I want my offense to set a structure and base around.
Well, like we saw last week, there was a lot of Shepard early as well, and he wasn't able to hit something. But I feel like that's how Delsea likes to play this. And get the team selling it up the middle early, and then after they can hit them with Milo pulls.
Actually, a good punt from Luke here. It's going to trickle back. It looks like it's going to go out of bounds around a little bit closer, maybe the 27-ish yard line, but from the 35, that's actually a solid punt. That's nearly a 40-yard punt. High school, I'll take that. So you start at the 28-yard line exactly. 72 yards to go for Millville in their second offensive possession. As we've seen them shift from a shotgun look to under center, but we haven't seen, and actually there was a penalty on the play, so we didn't even see them run that, but we haven't seen under center looks from Millville at all tonight as they run the first play. Short gain. Looks like a gain of 3 yards, 2nd and 7. As Millville's getting ready for 2nd and 7 from the 31-yard line.
2nd and 7 for Millville.
So we got split backs in the backfield. 2 receivers set out either side. As the refs are getting involved here. We had a timeout for Millville. So we got a little break in the action. So let's bring up the schedule, the situation that Delsea's in. They're actually going to be playing a game in, 2 days from now, Sean? 71 hours from this kickoff?
I'll tell you what, though, as a player, like, it might be tough, physically, but, thinking back to my high school days and the football practices that we used to have, we'd rather be playing than practicing. So
I know, Sean. 1985 was a lot different from nowadays, but no, I agree, Sean. And I see the gist of what you're trying to say is I'm just excited to play football. And
allowing the rest of the bodies.
For sure. As Millville gets set, a nice big hit in the middle of the field, cleaning up the tackle, although Millville will generate a first down from the carry.
That looked like it was going to turn into a big play. I was just seeing people down and put that down, but there was honestly, it's a first down for them, but if you're Delsea, I think the way that play was up to take that.
As Millville gets set for 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Get a little motion now. We have slip backs and a receiver coming to the near side here. Little illegal motion. I was about to say there's no guy on the line of scrimmage on the other side of the ball the second he moves over. And they wait to call the flag the second he moves over to that side of the ball. So there's no side over there. That was like Madden 04. You used to be able to make the formations and stuff, like end the plays and the formations. You could really experiment, but that would not be allowed right there. As we have a 1st and 15 run. Gets back up to around the original line of scrimmage. Will cost them a down, so it looks like it'll be 2nd and 10.
I don't know if you caught that, Zach, but our boy from the scrimmage, freshman,
74?
in there on the tackle now.
Oh, my.
How far we've come. We said we called him out in the scrimmage. We saw him through the burning. Geez, that's a freshman. He's going to be a ball player down the line. Little bit, it's going to be
Wow. That makes me excited. I got to put my glasses on now to see what's going on inside in the interior here. I was just going to mention earlier, I've noticed as we had another quick pass over the middle that just barely zooms in there. But I was going to mention, we were asking where Luke's at. I've actually seen Luke's hand in the dirt a lot more tonight than I've seen in games past. Yeah, and they might have him more condensed down. I don't know if that's something I've seen on tape, but that was a good catch. This Millville quarterback's pretty good. He just had the one errant throw so far, but he's definitely made some plays. I see why they're ready and shotgun. Looks like they're walking off, trying to get a signal. It looks like he was walking off for a timeout potentially, but he's back under center. Shotgun luck here. 3rd down, low snap, messes up the rhythm on the play. Oh, nice hit. We've been calling that name a lot the past couple of weeks. He actually made the first tackle of last week's game, and he's been all over the field, and that actually stopped the ball carrier from getting to the line of gain. So that was actually a big play with the forward momentum. And now it's going to be 4th and 1 in Delsea territory on the 48-yard line, and Millville's going to set up to go with the clock ticking down to about 1 minute left in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're going to be forced to use the timeout.
This is a pivotal spot, too. I probably would call a timeout, too, because, I mean, this is a really momentum-based swing play right here. I mean, it's right at midfield. Both teams have yet to score. And in a situation like this, you don't want to get caught up where you saw where he was running to, the far receiver. If he didn't get there, that's a free 48-yard touchdown down the sidelines. You know what I mean?
Girls, to achieve 100 goals in a year. Congratulations, Olivia.
As we wait for Millville's offense.
He did have a big time play today. He did.
Did he?
Yeah.
I just want to
Go
Oh,
down.
no.
Take it.
You should have told me that. I would have said that. Did you see that? Last one, I did a free kick like minute left in the game. Yeah.
Go about that.
It was only the first number.
While we thought it was a timeout for Delsea, they brought the chain crew out here to do a measurement during that timeout, and it turns out it was actually a first down for Millville.
Did the Millville head coach also bring a $20 bill out to the referee or something? Is there something I missed here?
I don't know.
No, there is a first down on the play here, so actually erases a big play here, and Millville will set up with a first down in Delsea's territory in their second offensive possession of the game. As the refs are going to get involved.
But again, when you
As we'll wait for the
I was just about
official.
to mention, Zach, the last game we called was Delsea Timber Creek, and it might have been the most undisciplined performance I've ever seen. And I was just going to mention that.
Well, how much more undisciplined can you get from back-to-back offsetting penalty plays? And we see it the next game where a team converts double-digit penalties along with 5+ turnovers in one game, which will never win you a football game in any league that you play in. And we have the refs getting involved once again. Just going to push Millville back into their own territory here. It's going to be first and 15 from their own 47-yard line. Well, Sean, we've seen some big hits on the field today. I mean, that's probably more hits than we've seen in the Dodgers-Phillies game with one combined hit in 5 innings so far of baseball.
I will take it because that means Lazard is pitching well. And he's either really good or the worst pitcher in baseball.
As we have a direct snap to the quarterback here.
Number 7, brought in number 52, Charles Mack, number 1, on the field.
As we have a stop and play once again.
It's going to be kind of near. He's got just dropped it near the Millville sideline. I'm curious to see what this is going to be.
You saw the Timber Creek coach last week at his money's worth.
So I honestly don't even think that was towards the roof. I think he called a timeout.
Yeah, but I mean, when they set up the sidelines specifically with barriers and borders of where you can cross, and I mean, he was on the hash.
That is huge there for the Crusaders. That's Millville's going to be pinned way back behind the chains.
So I'm waiting to see where the ball's going to be spotted at to see exactly what the enforcement is here. It looks like it's going to be a penalty enforced from the spot of where the ball was carried to, if you get what I'm saying. So I was trying to see if it was from the line of scrimmage marked off, but it was the ball carried was spotted to.
Now, they said that in the stadium. I was trying to do the math in my head.
As we have an outside run to the right side here. Almost back to the original line of scrimmage. Just over midfield around the 50, 49-yard line.
Looks like Millville's going to go up tempo once more and probably one more playoff here.
Ticking down just under 25 seconds. Exactly at midfield. Another run to the outside as it's swallowed up early. Sean, now being over midfield and getting over midfield, does that incline you to go for it more so as not going for it?
I've seen so far in Millville, well, Delsea did punt early, but that was we were still deep in early territory. And Millville's ability to throw the ball, I think they are more inclined to go ahead and maybe go for the season.
Delsea's only ran 3 offensive plays so far, so 3 and out. As we wind down to the end of the quarter from John Oberg Stadium in Franklinville, as we have Millville visiting Delsea with a score 0-0 both ways.
Yeah, that might have been last year.
I feel like the past couple games, too, Delsea in the first half specifically hasn't had the ball a lot besides teams turning the ball over. But when it plays out where it's not as sloppy, Delsea really doesn't possess the ball for the first quarter too often.
And it's also ground and pound. They always
So Millville obviously possessed the ball a lot more than Delsea. What would you say that Delsea has to do to get this stop in 4th down?
They're punting.
It does look like Millville has just punted. It looks like is that down at the 1 yard line? The ball is actually down at the 1 yard line.
We just talked about how good Delsea was from Luke. We just talked about how good Delsea's punt was from Luke, and now Millville go ahead and pins them back to the 1 yard line.
We saw the circus that Milo made last week on the personal protect, the holding play, on the errant snap on the field goal. We still have yet to see the Luke experiment down at on the ball to see if that's going to get into the
right
tricks and do something with him. Score here in Franklinville 0-0. Also the score in Philadelphia. Phillies 0, Dodgers 0. Bottom of the 5th inning. 11:47 here in Franklinville as Delsea gets ready for their second offensive possession. Quick run up the middle. Hopefully gets out of the end zone.
They call it a safety, Zach.
It's going to be marked as safety, and Millville is going to get on the board here, 2-0. Unfortunately, that's a very tough play. As it's called on the field, you can't really review before progress play, so it's going to stand that way.
And you have to give I think you have to give a shout out to Millville's punter setting up that opportunity for their defense to capitalize there. And Millville Delsea right now is looking like a Phillies-Dodgers game.
Sean, we might be talking about how many punts in high school football history have been down at the 1 yard line. That might be uncharted territory we're talking.
Can't imagine a numbers that high.
Not the worst deficit for Delsea, but not how you want to start your second offensive possession after you go 3 and out on the first offensive possession. And like I said, the time possession, Delsea has ran 4 offensive plays so far, and we're into the second quarter.
I do think they can take a little solace in knowing that that's not really like a bad drive out of them. It's just a bad situation and easy to rebound from.
And probably a situation you won't find yourself in again unless you stuff them at the 1 yard line,
right,
on that side of the ball. So Delsea now has to kick off from their own 20 yard line after the safety. Nice kick down to the 32 yard line. As a ball carrier is going down the sidelines, and he's going to be going for a touchdown. Horrible swing for Delsea. as they give up 8 points in a matter of 10 seconds. And Millville goes up 8-0 with 11:25 left in the second
We just
quarter.
talked about how it was 0-0 and it's kind of moving like a fast-paced game, and then back-to-back plays, Millville go ahead, gets a touchdown and a safety.
And it looked like there was just the coverage got overran. I mean, a guy was down there pretty quickly. He just took the wrong angle, and then there was nobody really out there besides Logan to try and stop him when he got down the sideline.
Bounced right off and then was able to just get to the sidelines.
This is a crucial play here. This is going to decide whether it's a 1 or 2 possession game. So Millville's set to attempt the extra point. As the kick is good, so it will be a 2 possession game as Millville goes up 9-0.
Now, after that safety and then the kick return for a touchdown, this next possession for the Crusaders becomes pivotal.
4 total plays so far, starting inside their 1-yard line safety. 3 and out in the first drive. Their offense definitely has to get going. And like I said, 0 touches for Milo so far. That has to change for the Delsea Crusaders to get back into this ball game.
I completely agree. He's your most dynamic playmaker in that backfield. Got to find a way to put the ball in his hands.
And they're flourishing at the most when they're able to get variety and get a bunch of different guys involved on the opposite side of the ball. We talked about their wingback depth before, but when you only run 4 opposite total plays so far, it's hard to get the ball around to everybody.
Let's see if Delsea can return the favor and get a little momentum here on the kick return of their own.
As this is the last official home game for Delsea this season, we'll have to see if they get some home playoff games, but they will finish the season with 3 straight road games, one being next Thursday, this upcoming Thursday, and a couple of days versus Holy Spirit at 6 o'clock. Then they get Williamstown on the 17th and Mainland on the 24th as we have the kickoff here in Franklinville. Solid return past the 30-yard line. It looks like up to like the 33-ish yard line. As Delsea will take over for their 3rd offensive possession of the game, seeking points here in a desperate spot.
Your call. You can play tomorrow.
As Delsea breaks the huddle for 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line. Wing back in motion. As they have the backside trip, and it's good. And Delsea's right up the middle of the field with 1 man to beat. He gets tackled at the 20-yard line. Sean, my favorite play. I'm looking at one side of the ball, and the ball's on the other side of the ball. Sean, get into one of our favorite plays of this offense.
And I just said that earlier when you said you wanted to see Milo get the ball. And I said they like to establish Shepard early and then hit the counters and then also hit Milo on a keeper. There you go with the counter and was off to the races for another St. Joe's transfer.
It just seems like the counter always works for this offense, and that's a huge play.
That was Hanif Hernandez.
Definitely picking up some momentum now.
That was Hanif Hernandez, his biggest run as a Crusader.
He filled in at quarterback a couple weeks ago in one of their tough losses. First time ever playing quarterback, but now he's getting to actually play his natural position and showing how explosive he can be as Delsea gets set for their first offensive play of the game inside the red zone at the 19-yard line, 1st and 10. As Milo breaks a couple tackles, gains a couple yards on the play, nothing significant though. Looks like they're going to mark him down at like the 17, 16-yard line. Looks like the 16.
That was a nice little fake by Milo too. The corner bit on it and it opened up a little bit of wiggle.
Yeah, he rode that mesh out to the very last second. That was good play by him. That sets up the defense for later plays in the game as well too.
Absolutely.
So that's a smart play that actually plants a seed on the defense of what he can potentially do down the line.
How much
As
grief?
Delsea gets set for 2nd and 7 from the Millville 17-yard line.
How much grief do you think Hernandez will get for getting caught like that? Because we used to rip people for getting.
You remember the J.J. play where they're all making fun of him, the Eagles on the sidelines? I think that'll be what it is. But you know why he got caught though, Sean? Because he ran the counter and he gets the ball on like the other hash, but you see where he ends up getting tackled at in the middle of the field. Like he ran too far into the middle of the play the angle advantage side, and then I want to set him up to like he meets me at the 10, and then I'm able to make a move and maybe potentially shake him or just get further down the field. But I'm playing that all behind the mic here, Sean. I don't know if I got the same speed as Hernandez on the field, so. That was a huge play. I mean, the last, 5 minutes of real time here, we could have done an NFL red zone segment. That's the type of action that we've seen.
Absolutely, and we did talk about it when they got the ball. We said this is a pivotal drive for Delsea, and Delsea has been an offense that's been kind of predicated on the home run ball. We've seen Milo do it numerous times, other tailbacks as well, and now Hernandez getting into the action, and that's big, but Delsea here has to finish this drive off. I mean, 9-7 is a whole lot better than 9-0 or 9-3.
Even I'll take 9-6 too, and then set my boy up with the potential to tie the game.
See, but I already was just counting the 7 because he's automatic.
Oh, yeah, he's automatic. Yeah, that is true. As we are to the far hash on this play. Lots of room to work to the right side, but it looked too condensed as the front side corner gets shaped down quickly. It's going to be recorded as a sack.
Yeah, it kind of seems like Milo hasn't had a lot of running room once he gets to that edge. It almost is like Millville knows that he's their most explosive player, and they're kind of keying on.
I mean, last week, the way that they handled their offense with everything really going predominantly inside, and they placed to the outside, but a lot of just the inside mesh reads. They couldn't really be condensing the inside. That's why we saw the counter work. Maybe they'll go to the outside again here on third down to pick up this conversion.
Yeah, I also don't think a pass, as we saw Delsea being able to throw the ball with success against Timber Creek a couple weeks ago, with success. So.
About to see. We have a wing back in motion here. Nice little pass, little pop up the middle.
And it was a perfect pass from Milo. The running back just was not ready for it. And honestly, if he catches it, I think that's a walk-in touchdown, Zach.
I think if he throws it later, you could say that's too soon. But if he throws it later, he actually gets put in a really bad spot with the safety closing in on him with a potential big-time hit. So that ball actually was on time. It's just the receiver didn't turn around quick enough to make the play there. But the ball was right in the basket.
Yeah, that was a really good pass from Milo.
It looks like there's no hesitancy from the Delsea offense as they go line up for 4th and 10 from the 19-yard line.
Crusaders here has to be, even if you don't get it, Millville has to drive the length of the field, which they honestly haven't done yet. So
we have another pass, and he's hit immediately in the backfield, and he's going to be sacked instantly. That's going to be a 5-yard loss, and Millville's going to take over. It looked right off the gap, Sean. I couldn't tell if it was like a backer walked up into the gap and ran.
No,
right in,
that was.
I mean, it was instant pressure.
That was a D tackle, I believe, Zach. Yeah, it was definitely a missed assignment there from Delsea.
As Millville is going to take over at the Delsea, or at their own, 25-yard line. 8:31 left on the clock for 1st and 10 with a 9-0 lead here in Franklinville.
Oh, there goes. Oh. Luke got around the edge there and got pressure. The UConn commit, as we talked about, he's a big player on this Delsea defense. Got off the edge, got to the quarterback, but he just was able to find his man in the flat for a 1st down.
Doesn't seem like the Delsea defensive line's really affecting things too much.
No, the quarterback's kind of just
so
been able to sit back there and find his spots. But Delsea has done a nice job, I think, against the run so far.
Do you think that the tempo of the offense is what might be leading to like the lack of pass rush with how quick the Millville offense is moving? Because we haven't really seen the combination of the spread and the hurry-up offense together.
And I do think that they're more worried about being in coverage than they are actually getting pressure.
It's be another quick pass as the corner bites up on it. It's a good play. Solid defensive play from Delsea there, minimizing the game.
I also want to give kudos to that Millville wide receiver because he was stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage, if not a little behind it, and did turn it into a positive play.
And we talked about before, I mean, they put out some of the best skill position players. When I was at Clearview in 2015, we scrimmaged them, and they had 2 running backs, both going Division I with scholarships, one being drafted in the NFL. So that just kind of tells you what type of talent they're working with.
And last year, they just sent the #1 wide receiver in New Jersey, Losier Brooks, to Alabama, and he's actually getting some PT as a true freshman.
So we have a Two receiver set to either side here. Running back to the right.
Delsea looks like they're
walking
going to
up
bring
on
the
the line of
blitz.
scrimmage. Looks like they're going all out. They are bringing the blitz,
Shepard
and
gets there.
still a decent throw on the play to the running back, who's going to get a first down, break a tackle up the sidelines.
Yeah, Zach, like we just mentioned it, or you just mentioned it, the Millville quarterback's looking really good so far, and that's back-to-back plays on this drive where he's gotten pressure in his face, didn't panic, and was able to find the open receiver.
Are you sure this isn't our boy from Woodstown who wore the same colors a couple weeks ago and really impressed us as well, even though the offense wasn't still all together?
I'm sure there's a few schools that are eyeing him up, talking about a little transfer portal action.
Yeah, for sure. We got some NIL deals, some concession stand deals going on out here, but Millville's going to set up with a 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line after the first down. Little run that's going to gain a couple yards. Looks like they gain about 3 yards. As Millville moves the ball into Delsea territory at their 49-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 7 with just under 7 minutes left in the second quarter in Franklinville. As Millville breaks the huddle. Are they actually under center? Millville's actually under center to start this play. We'll see if it stays that way. As they do run a play from under center to the outside here.
And none other than 22 Milo Gebhardt on the tackle there. Zach sniffing that out.
I think that was the first time we've heard his name called on the defensive side tonight. Usually we're hearing it every other play. Also, they've run a lot of plays towards the line of scrimmage from Millville. They had the one explosive play that was a kick return, obviously, but offensively they haven't really had too many explosive plays where Milo's had to get the ball on the third level.
And we really see Milo really making an impact on the deep passes, and it's been a lot of short routes and swing passes so far for Millville. And that's going to be false start here on Millville. Big for Delsea is going to be 3rd and about 12
push
now.
Millville back into their own territory. As it will be a 3rd up, Sean.
Yeah, that's my Delsea education paying off there. Quick math.
Don't make us we got the 5 near, Sean. Don't make us go dive into the records real quick. About 5:30 left on the clock in the second quarter. 3rd and 12 from the 46-yard line from Millville. The shotgun set here. H back in the backfield. Looks like we have another early movement. Someone moved their hand down there or something. Is that going to be on Delsea? It is going to be on Delsea. So they get the 5 yards back up, and Millville's back into Delsea Crusaders territory. And they're right on the ball. They're snapping the ball right now.
And our boy Holden checking into the game for Delsea again on the D-line.
Low shotgun snap here. Ran right at him and brings the curl like a ball. And the ball is intercepted, and Delsea takes over. Number 3, Keaton Doyle, the star of the game so far, makes another huge play for the Delsea Crusaders to take back over possession. Ball's going to be spotted at the Millville 46-yard line as Delsea looks to put points on the board. As we're adjusting the cameras here to get you guys a
wow.
The ball's actually not going to be at the original spot where the ball was speaking to on the interception, because there was a penalty, but the interception stands. So it looks like Delsea's going to be taking over at their own 40-yard line, but nevertheless, they got the ball back.
Delsea has a wide receiver split way outside here at number 10, Samir Cox. And we're going to Hernandez.
We have a run right up the middle.
Good second.
He's halting in his tracks. That's going to put the ball right around midfield, though.
And it's going to be a first down for Crusaders as he was stopped in his tracks, like you said, Zach. That was a second effort out of him, a grown man style finish to that run to get the first down for the Crusaders.
That's what they like to call the angry runs nowadays.
Yeah. Kyle Brandt will be proud.
As Delsea gets set for a 1st and 10, ball directly at the 50-yard line. Ball a couple yards to the right where their Delsea Crusaders logo is listed on midfield for 1st and 10, as we have early movement once again. The receiver could have left early there. So what are you expecting from the Delsea offense playbook here?
I think you got to try to stick with what works here in short time, under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. And it's been the counters and misdirection stuff that has been able to hit your biggest plays so far.
Well, do you classify something that could have been executed that wasn't executed in that same category? The pass was there, but wasn't executed. But it was there.
Absolutely. No, I can definitely see that.
I would try to build off the momentum of Keaton Doyle right now, who's been the best player for Delsea on both sides of the ball. Maybe get the ball into his hands. Maybe try to get Luke involved a little bit as well.
What is going on?
We have another break in the action here. 3:38 left on the clock, second quarter. Delsea facing a 1st and 15.
Okay.
Camera back up for you guys as we speak. We have a break in the action.
Delsea's offense returns to the field here. I'm going to be looking at a 1st and 15. Oh, Milo has to pitch that.
Milo's tackled in the backfield.
That play has not been working so far, Zach. Milo has kept it every time. The defense did not bite on the fake pitch that time.
Looks like he's getting a different type of read that he's normally used to, because he's been a little indecisive, and we haven't also seen him carry the ball. So it looks like they're kind of playing him to the last second to confuse him, and he doesn't have enough time to actually pitch the ball comfortably without possibly turning the ball over, which he does not.
I do think right there it would have been worth giving him a shot, because he would have caught the ball and had a one-on-one with the corner and could have made something happen. And if he does beat that one-on-one, it's potentially a big gain, as they were the only two out here on this side of the field.
But it is going to be a loss of 4, so set up the 2nd and 19 from the 41-yard line. To another pass. As it's deflected.
Read perfectly.
Intended for Luke, number 11.
And that was read perfectly by Millville.
They ran that with effectiveness last week, where they ran the backside tight end out of the formation, and he kind of got open in the backside of the formation. But that ball was also thrown like 7 yards off the line. It didn't seem like there was too much room there.
Yeah,
there was too much
I also feel like, I don't know if Milo's getting a little skittish because of the couple sacks that he's taken so far tonight. But the pass that we did, he threw throwing the money earlier that the receiver wasn't ready for, and that one right there was just thrown way too quick.
He really hasn't had a lot of time to work with thus far tonight. So it's going to be 3rd and 19 from the 41 for Delsea offense. They drop back pass again. It's going to be a complete screen pass, but doesn't really go anywhere. It's actually going to lose yards. It looks like we're going to see the punt unit again for the Delsea side of the ball.
Now, we've seen this Delsea passing offense have some success so far this season, but so far tonight, it's been a lot to be desired out there, Zach. Got to try
Number
to
11, Luke Van Alken will be back deep to kick. Just where I get a little excited, maybe some trickery in the bag, but 4th and 26, unless you're Freddie Mitchell, it doesn't usually work out for you from their own 34-yard line. So he takes the snap, pretty decent snap, pretty decent punt as well. You're going to knock off a Millville player? Did that touch a Millville player? Ball was trickling into where a bunch of guys running down the field. Looks like it could have ricocheted off somebody, but it will be down at the 25-yard line. So Another nice kick from Luke. That was actually a 41-yard punt.
Yeah, that was big because, under 2 minutes here, Zach, if you're Delsea, you just got to be hoping that you can head into the locker room only trailing by 9.
First and 10, Millville at the 25-yard line. 1:50 exactly left on the clock in the second quarter as we wind down to halftime. Receiver set in motion down to the trip side now. Little slant pass.
Oh,
that's
great
broken
coverage
up.
on the play from number 3, Keaton Doyle.
We've already seen 2 interceptions, and Keaton Doyle responsible for one of them. And if they keep throwing the ball like that quick, Delsea's defense might score before their offense does.
Absolutely. That's been the big play so far for the
We've
Crusaders.
seen Millville's defense spark the scoring for. I mean, we've seen Millville's defense and special teams score and not their offense so far. So
Right.
maybe that's what it takes for the Delsea side of the ball to get going. That stops the clock. That's actually big for the Crusaders.
Absolutely.
Also the 25-yard line. 1:46 left on the clock. We're 1:45 exactly.
And Delsea does hold 2 timeouts, I believe, as well.
Trips receivers to the left side of the formation. Empty set here. They take the snap. We got some pressure off the left side. Incomplete pass. Another incompletion.
And that was forced pressure by the UConn commit, Luke Van Alken, getting to quarterback's face yet again, forcing an errant pass there. And that, you said, Zach, that's huge now. That's 2 plays, and only about 10 seconds came off the clock for Millville. If Delsea's able to get a stop here on 3rd down, they may be able to go ahead and force turnover with over a minute to go and maybe potentially getting a short field. And I stand corrected that Delsea is out of timeouts.
Correct. And we saw past couple games, not only the Delsea side, but both sides of the coaching staffs like getting a little aggressive with the timeout calling. So Delsea would like to have some timeouts called, but another empty set here with Luke coming off the edge pressure. Ball's ricocheted into the air, just gets out, make the tackle as the tackle is made. Delsea can't stop the clock, but it looks like they're going to set themselves up to get the ball back. Looks like it's going to be like a 4th and 4-ish. See what Millville elects to do here. It's going to be a 4th and 2.
Yeah, the quarterback looks like he's coming off the field, so I'm not sure if they're going to run a play or it looks like they're going to punt it. We'll know for sure once, that's a punt unit out. Number 5, the quarterback is staying on the sidelines. But Delsea's really going to need a big return here from the quarterback, Milo Gebhardt, who's also their punt returner here.
We'll see how far the kick actually goes. We'll see if the snap is accurate. Seen something weeks past. Decent kick here.
Yeah, it's not going to be returnable.
It's going to be down at around the 31-yard line. So Delsea would take over at the 31-yard line. A lot of times, there's only 32 seconds left with no timeouts. We'll see what Delsea elects.
Yeah, that was a really good punt out of Millville right there because not only did you not allow a return, that ball kept bouncing for quite a few seconds, trickling more time off that clock.
We'll also see what type of defense Millville comes out and hear how worried they are about the passing game. We've seen Delta dive into the passing game, but in a situation like this, they might even come out more so of a traditional passing look. See if Delsea even test their luck here. Play offensively. Delsea's going to run a counter that gains a lot of yards. We see if they get back on the line of scrimmage. They didn't get a first down, so the clock won't stop. This is a first down. As we have a keeper to Milo on the last play of the half. As we tackle by a couple Millville Thunderbolts. As that will wrap up to halftime. So at halftime here in Franklinville, John Oberg Stadium, we have Millville up 9-0 on Delsea.
Okay in the situation. You had a couple big plays. The offense hasn't been there, but in reality, your defense hasn't given up anything. And then they got a kickoff return for a touchdown as well. So if Delsea defense keeps playing how they are, the offense steps up.
I mean, you have to feel really good about the defensive side of the ball. You've yet to allow a touchdown on the defensive side of the ball, and you turn the ball over twice, specifically 2 interceptions. So you should feel good in that regard, in that department. But what do you think the offense has to do to expand and open up a little bit? Because it seems like Milo, this isn't one of the better games that we've seen from them so far this year.
Quarterback beat us or passing attack wasn't there for the Crusaders at all tonight either. On the outside. So I think they got to stick to what Delsea knows. Shepard, we haven't really seen him before. And stick with what's happening as well.
We saw almost that last play before half break, and that was also another counter. So I think the misdirection game is what's leading to some of the opposite success for Delsea. And I think they just need to open up the offense a little bit more. But the defense is playing well and hanging them around in the game. They just have to start converting on offense and get the ball a little bit more and be able to do something with it when they do get the ball. But they will get the ball for the second half, the opening of the second half. So that should be an advantage for them. Go out there and start strong, get points on the board quickly, and just build from there because we've seen a tale of 2 halves for pretty much every game this year where Delsea either scores a lot of points or they don't really score any points in a half. So.
It's been 2 big plays. Both on special teams for all those so far. That's the difference in this game. And if they get the offense going a little bit, they are right in this one. We got a little bit of an extended halftime tonight with it being homecoming here at Delsea. Usually it's just 10 minutes. Now it'll be I think 15. That is what it started at.
I think we might have to extend this for like an hour and a half just to get these last couple innings of the Phillies game in so we can all stop worrying about everything and relax and just make sure the Phillies win. So that would be my ideal.
Yeah, you know, we should need to get a got to talk to the Delsea alumni, not myself included, but get some donations out here to get a jumbotron or something so we can throw it.
Oh no, we got a Delsea alum that we can He's gonna see what he can do.
Yeah, just don't cash it till Friday.
As looks like the Jesus Luzardo floodgates are about to open for the Phillies right now.
I'm actually surprised he's still in the game here in the 7th, Zach, to be honest with you.
How many pitches he's got on the board so far? 82, actually. I mean, as we see Topper coming in to relieve him of his duties as we speak.
Just as he
82 pitches in the
always.
7th inning. I'd probably have to ride that out as well,
Yeah.
honestly. That's a really good number to be at in the 7th inning of a playoff game. So, but
It's going to be interesting to see who they turn to here, though, because they talked about Ranger and Nolo were both available for this one. Whichever one they don't use will go ahead and be the Game 3 starter on Thursday.
And the hottest Dodger right now is probably looming in the works because if Freddie just got a hit, then
Teoscar's on 3rd. He bats before Freddie.
Oh, yeah, that is true, I guess so, yeah. That's what scares me about the Dodgers, though, is last year Freddie was completely hurt, limping around the bases, and went to World Series MVP, hit the home run like every
Yeah, that
game.
was an
Like,
epic.
that was like
pimp
that
shot.
took what was it, Gibson from the '80s? That made him look like you know what the P were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, who's going to score first tonight? Phillies or Delsea?
well, we shall see. I'm trying to think of what we haven't seen from the Delsea offense part tonight because I feel like something's just off entirely. I feel like I feel like it really has been. We just haven't seen Milo with the ball actually in his hands
That's really
running
the difference.
downhill. We've seen him making the decisions, but we haven't seen him carrying the ball as a ball carrier downhill. It's kind of like Jalen. We saw 2 carries from Jalen yesterday. Everyone's like, oh, Jalen runs the ball a little bit too much, but I think we could all agree, even if you do think that 2 carries for him is just absolutely asinine crazy.
Now Sunday, it looked like he was kind of hesitant or like scared to run. I don't think Jalen's ever like scared to run, but it's not even part of the game plan. Obviously, they saw something in the secondary against the Broncos that they thought they took advantage of, and they did. But they almost did it too much. Zach, they were up both the scores, and in the fourth quarter, 22 straight pass plays for the Eagles offense, which is asinine. When you got a running back like Saquon Barkley, and then
that dates back to like the history of the Eagles too. I remember when Carson was there. There was a stat where anytime he'd throw over like 37 passes, they'd automatically lose. But anytime that his like passing intents would range between like 38 to like 30, they were pretty much undefeated. So it's like you gotta understand the balance. And it's like you can't just be drastic to like doing one thing and then the other. And I don't know. The past couple weeks, I feel like Delsea's been mixing in. Well, that's Delsea back in the conversation. They've been mixing in a lot of pass.
Well, that's what we mentioned earlier in the game. We were like that passing attack from Delsea, which you never see really out of a Delsea considered offense. I was like, I've actually been impressed. I thought they were throwing the ball pretty well so far this year, but it just hasn't been there. And I also feel like the pass plays have been kind of rough.
They also like to pass the ball in the red zone, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Like a couple years back when they won the state title with Russo, like that's not even an option for them. They're just handing the ball off to Bruno or Russo right up the middle. You know what I mean?
It's
so
weird, Zach, because you have a target like Luke Van Auken. He's humongous, probably bigger than every player.
Well, that should have been. They should be on the board right now as we got the lights turning off in here. Well, action, but that was a touchdown.
I completely agree.
The arc seal up the seam, but that was a touchdown. It just wasn't executed properly. That's when you said, I'm going to run plays that I know will work for me. I would classify as that. It just wasn't executed properly, but the play was there to be had.
We haven't seen any rocket-style plays either as well, Zach, as we saw.
Well, I feel like they haven't really had a lot of the boundary to actually work with. You know what I mean? They've been kind of condensed. We saw the one play they tried to run the rollout when they were on the side far hack, but the pass blocking has really been their issue. Anytime they try to pass the ball, there's someone breathing down Milo's throat within 2 to 3 seconds.
That's why I said every pass play has been felt rough.
Yeah.
The Delsea Step team is putting on a show here for the crowd at John Oberg Field.
It looks like Sean's TikTok page out there. Also, something I noticed, Sean, too, is with all the times Millville's came out and shotgun looks and thrown the ball, their quarterback is not looking to scramble whatsoever.
No, doesn't look very
He's barely even moved around in the pocket. No. And there has been pressure, but he's just been standing his ground. I mean, last week we saw the quarterback from Timber Creek. We mentioned usually they have a really athletic guy in there that moves around. He didn't really move around as much, but it was more so by design. We saw him get outside of the pocket when he needed to. We have yet to see Millville's quarterback even take steps further up into the pocket when he sets back.
Well, I also feel like we haven't really seen them try to push the ball down the field at all. So if he does ever get pressure, he just has to jump it off into the
they are running the RPOs with the swings and the slants off it, but you saw the issues where one bad shotgun snap or a man downfield can completely annihilate that play. So, but what I'm getting at is if he's dropping back to the same spot in the pocket every single play, I need to utilize that as a defender and use that as my rush lane to where I know where he's going to set up every time he's back in the pocket.
I completely agree.
Because your interior pass rush, if you can get to a certain spot and then box him in, and the second he tries to flee, your edge defenders are there. That's where you're going to condense him in, and then that leads to like a 12-yard sack. So we'll see if Delsea can capitalize on that in the second half.
I don't know if they're going to be able to, because it seems like we mentioned multiple times that Millville has kind of schemed to be able to shut down Milo in the running attack. But I think if they're going to have any shot at coming back in this game, they're going to have to find a way to get him in space.
For sure. I think Milo's got to touch the ball a lot more on the offensive side of the ball. I think on the defensive side of the ball, I think the trenches on both sides of the ball for Delsea need to just get a little bit more active. We need to see a little bit better pass blocking specifically. They're not doing bad against the run, but it seems like anytime they're trying to set any of the pass plays that look like they're going to work at the time's actually there, they just don't have the time for it. And it seems like on the defensive side of the ball, Delsea's really not making anything happen besides Luke and a couple plays getting inside the back.
Absolutely.
Getting some pressure. Doing good in pass coverage. 2 interceptions. Keaton's all over the ball. He wasn't even the one with the first interception.
Right.
So they're making plays when the ball's in the air. They just have to create more opportunities to make plays with the ball in the air by getting there and affecting the timing of the Millville quarterback. As we have about 5 minutes left of intermission time here. And we'd like to do like updates around. We were doing Friday night updates with all the other scores.
I don't
but
think there's many
the
updates
past
to
2
have
games,
on
well,
Monday.
we had the Thursday game and now the Monday game. So stuff's been moving all over the place for us even too. But hey, we're getting action on every day of the week out here. So
Right.
we'll pull up on some MAC action on a Tuesday and a Wednesday if we need to too. As we have both teams taking the field once again, getting ready for the second half as we have about just under 5 minutes to go. We have 4:30 left on the clock until we head back to the field for some action at John Oberg Stadium. Looks like the start time for the second half will be 8:10 approximately Eastern time. So we'll be back to action then. Both teams getting back, warming up, getting ready for second half action here in Franklinville. With the score, Millville 9, Delsea 0. If there's anybody that's watching the stream that doesn't have access to the Phillies game, we have a live score update of 1-0. Bases loaded for the Dodgers. Only one out. Not the greatest situation to be in. Or Kirk Ring on the mound. We'll show you what it looks like at the field real quickly.
Wait, what did he get? A hot dog? Green hot dog? I heard girls. Out.
As Delsea's coming back onto the field. So we have about 3 minutes until kickoff. Leading Delsea 9-0.
First pitch swinging. Two runs. 3-0. The Phillies. I don't know if it's a bigger Phillies. Phillies. You would expect hot. You would expect that hot. Well, I could change the hot, but I can't change how the Phillies are doing.
Ah, Jesus. Oh.
Soccer. I told you. I heard that. The only reason they brought me in they needed the press.
Three nothing now.
Kirkring just let up a 2-run single. Kirkring. Will Smith.
Nice.
All faking injuries. Sometimes. As we're getting ready for second half action here. Down in Franklinville. Sean said he was going to the bathroom, but I see a little mustard on the side of the corner of his lips here. They call him the Glizzy Goblin. Sean, have you ever had luck with the 50-50? Be honest now. Don't be trying to
No,
promote
I
it.
haven't. And I play it like every time I go to a Phillies game.
I know you're a gambler, so yeah, I know you do get, sucked into adding to the pot.
I'm a conspiracy theorist. At the professional.
I don't know if we have enough time for this rabbit hole that you're about to go
professional
down.
games, I don't even. Have you ever heard of anyone posting like I just won the 50-50 at the Phillies or I won the 50-50 at the Eagles
Never.
games? I think it's fake. I think they just collect and then just announce a number and then that's it.
And then it goes into like some discount or special
And then
that they
it's-
try to
and then
promote,
it's-
and they really just dump that money into that special
And it
to make it happen.
it just goes into like Jalen Carter's extension.
Maybe that's when like they'll give out like a free playoff T-shirt or ticket or like towel, like a free towel or like
Right,
a t-shirt.
yeah.
Maybe that's what that fund goes into, and that's how they get their money back. But we're here for second half action as Delsey's set to receive the second half kickoff. Looking to put points on the board for the first time tonight.
Bobbled. Ooh. Little Deshaun Jackson-esque right there, Zach, with a bobbled snap.
I don't know. Just to take it back. I announced it a couple of times. She was take it back. Next.
They won't. I was there. They won't change the number, will they? Okay.
Sean, I thought we might have me calling card all live. I thought we actually had a 50-50 winner.
I know.
All live across our pads after we just said that.
I was going to ask her if she would donate to the broadcast team.
It's a solid run from Delsea on their first offensive play in the third quarter.
That is one plus about being here in the press box. They come to claim the 50-50, and when they walking out, you just got hold of that.
Yeah, you always get a little refund. We also had the cheerleaders last week asking for me to pronounce the names correctly. I'm trying to multitask out here.
And you said yeah, and then I asked you, and you said you forgot. You forgot the name.
No, I if you're listening, Jolie.
There you go.
I did make the mental note. I just did forget to relay the message down to the messenger. I wasn't Paul Revere.
Yeah.
I did my best. So it's going to be a first down for Delsea. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. About 11 minutes left on the clock. Still 23 minutes left here in Franklinville for Delsea to get on the board.
And Zach, right on cue, we just said you got to find a way to get Milo in space, and there we are.
And the angle that I just said, it looked like he actually did get the first down, but that's going to be a tough call here. But it looks like he's just going to be a little bit short, but it's going to be second and about 1. But first time we saw Milo actually get loose.
Absolutely. They're going to need more of that. I mean, a touchdown here to open up the drive. Zach, we have some 50-50 controversy here. Ooh, that was Hernandez is running with aggression tonight. Got stuffed to the line of scrimmage and turned it into a first down run. But also, Zach, the referees missed a little bit of a face mask there too at the line.
No, that honestly looked like the type of giddy up that Isaiah Pacheco runs, but then his when he's running the ball, he's chopping his legs in a straight square, and he's just full speed barreling through. And really good carry for Hernandez, who we've seen both the St. Joe's transfers put their numbers on notice tonight.
Absolutely. And they're going to need more of that here in the second half.
Delsea gets set for another 1st and 10 play. Their second first down achieved of the drive, looking for a third one here from 48-yard line. And off to Adrian Shepard up the middle.
Lift it up a little bit there, Zach, and some extracurriculars. Refs let it play on, though.
And Sean, real quickly while we're talking about it, how many times I talk about the Milo, which I've been good today. I haven't mentioned it, but if you wanted to bring up what we saw this weekend online, you sent me a video.
Yeah, if you missed the Camden Winslow game, there might have been the biggest hit in New Jersey this weekend. Helmet went backwards about 5 yards an hour.
I was on the goal line, too. That was front row action, so it doesn't get much better than that. But Delsey's going to take over.
Penn State commit for Winslow in the secondary, and after watching them against UCLA, they might need them.
Oh, my God. Let's not get started on Penn State now. As Milo drops out for a pass. Milo gave the ball the lefty roll out there.
Yeah.
Solid gain.
That was a nice play.
I don't know if it's a lefty offensive coordinator that's drawing up these lefty offensive passing plays here.
The way to absorb the hit and make a catch, too, from Amir Chester.
It's refreshing to see a lefty. They operate, their mannerisms are just so different than a right-handed player.
I don't know if it's because I'm a right-hander and predominantly like the whole world is right-handed, but I think a left-hander doing anything just looks better.
Yeah, that is true.
Like a left-handed jump shot, Zach.
But it's always like there's always like a signature to it. Like there's always a lean. Like my dad is left-handed. When he writes on paper, he leans the paper all the way to one side, puts his elbow down, and then has to write that way. Yeah. It's a whole thing. But I became ambidextrous from having a father that was left-handed. So he might also be calling the plays tonight for this team. Who knows? But looks like he's living his heyday with some of these lefty rollouts. But I feel that also in some ways condenses what you can do in the passing game, because throwing across your body left-handed with your momentum is tough in itself as well. So that's why you set up the boundary, you set up the hashes, the high school hashes, 4 types of plays like that, and those converting right now as they're right outside the red zone once again. As it looks like our one of our favorite players, Holden Roskowski's actually playing on offense as well. Right?
Yeah.
They have a freshman going both ways on both sides of the ball for Delsea right now. I heard a huge collision in the hole when someone wants to go pull around there, and I looked up and I was trying to see what numbers were involved. And you always know number 74 is going to get up in the mix when he can. As Delsea sets up for a 2nd and 11 from the 27-yard line. About 7:30 left in the third quarter on the clock. Handoff up the middle once again. Doesn't gain too much. Millville's interior has done a really good job tonight of just slowing down one of the most important aspects of the entire Delsea offense, the inside run. Yeah, whether it's the quarterback doing it or the fullback, they just can't really get anything going.
Yeah, we talked about Adrian Shepard starting the game off in the first play with a 5-yard run. I'm not sure he has 5 yards the rest of the game.
Yeah. We haven't really seen Milo be able to carry the ball. We've seen a lot of the big run plays come off like C-gap and out off tackle here. So we'll see if that's something that Delsea tries to exploit here on a 3rd and 8 from the 24-yard line.
We do have a backside counter.
And it's open. He's carrying people down the field. Is that Hernandez once again?
Once again, and that'll be a Delsea first down, Zach.
Something you notice about Hernandez is he gets contacted up top and his legs are constantly moving down low, which actually pushes the pile for a one-man wrecking crew by himself. That was an impressive run for the first down. Gets Delsea down to the 14-yard line. Approaching 6 minutes left in the third quarter, looking to put their first points on the board of the game. Millville still holding a 9-0 lead. As Hernandez carries the ball again. A solid gain of about 4 to 5 yards there. Set up a second down. It looks like from like the 9-yard line. 2nd and 6 from the 10 about. Just under 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
And that was back-to-back counter play, Zach. But I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it.
We'll see if they go back to the well of the passing game here, as they've thrown the ball inside the red zone a couple times this season. The looks have been there. The execution hasn't always been there. As we have both teams huddling back up, or they're sort of breaking the action. Delsea calls another timeout. So it takes Delsea over 6 minutes to call their first timeout of this quarter, giving them 2 left for the last 17 minutes and change of action. And Sean, real quickly, Arby's has steak nuggets.
I don't know if there's ever been anything I've been interested in less.
I was about to say, does Arby's steak nuggets interest you, Sean?
I've been
As we have Sean's answer there.
around with a beef and cheddar every now and then, but
no steak from Arby's. That's not
I
something you
don't
can
believe
be.
it's actually steak. No disrespect to Arby's.
That's a lot of disrespect to Arby's, if we're being honest. You could probably find something better at the John Oberg concession stand down there. The Traveling Tacos, another classic. So, but Delsea looks to punch the ball in here. 2nd and 6 from the 10-yard line. That's a fumble on the snap, and Milo just gets right back on top of it. Sounds like we got some dogs getting involved in the action down here, too. We got some barking in the crowd. I don't know if that's Sean being a little hungry over here. Thinking about those steak nuggets. The clock's ticking down to about 5 minutes left in the third quarter as Delsea set up a 3rd and 8 from the 12-yard line, losing 2 yards on the fumbled snap on the last play. Not a lot of space to work with here, Sean. Maybe a quick action play here. We've seen the counter work tonight, but Delsea's going to call their second timeout in about 1 minute of time. In a close game, it's not really what you like to see.
Well, if the scoreboard's correct, Zach, the last timeout was actually taken by Millville, so it looks like it's 2 apiece.
Oh, it is. They did signal Delsea. I guess I must not have saw that. So thank you for the correction there. That actually is a huge in
Absolutely.
a 2-possession game there. That actually is a big moment.
I had the same exact thought as you, and then I glanced at the scoreboard and seen that.
Oh, so you actually looked and you actually read into instead of
Yes.
speaking before you actually think, like I do. You know what I mean? So. It looks like the Phillies could use Sean's softball talents out on the field tonight. Delsea's taking over 3rd and 8 from the 12-yard line as they break the huddle. As Milo does his best to not be swallowed in the backfield, but he still is. Right around the line of scrimmage, he's going to lose a little bit. And the Millville defensive line has just been in the backfield all night tonight. Looks like Delsea is going to send the offense back out for 4th down. Or it could be attempted to be 9-9, and then we could have 3 touchdowns the way that Milo handled that bad snap this week. That was one of the craziest plays that I keep forgetting about that play that even happened. But we'll see here if they go to the well of passing once again. 4th and 11 for Delsea here. They're going to be stuffed around the line of scrimmage and turn the ball back over to Millville. So they will give Millville a long distance to go, but
Yeah.
not the most opportune play here. I see that you want to establish the base of the offense, but when it's not
On
working.
4th and 11 too. Kind of tough. Maybe they thought they could catch him off guard going up the middle on that play.
Well, it's just like all night, Milo has not really been able to get into his outside reads with the pitch. It's all been handoff to Adrian, or he's really getting tackled in the backfield. So it's just been tough. But Millville's going to take over from their own 15-yard line with 3:45 left in the third quarter. Short game will play for Millville.
You have to think Delsea's really going to need a big play out of their defense here, I think, Zach, to change the momentum around and maybe put themselves in an opportune position to score.
I agree. They have created 2 turnovers in the passing game, but how inclined is Millville to still pass the ball with the lead that they have right now? Even though their offense hasn't really done too much. Seems like they're not really threatened with anything from the Delsea side, though, for them to even really have urgency on the opposite side of the ball. You see, they're taking their time to get up to the line of scrimmage, using as much clock as they possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, here in the third quarter, I think you just got to run the offense that you like to run and what you have had success with. I don't think they can necessarily just go run heavy here with this much time left.
I agree. As we had the officials interrupting action once again.
Delay a game?
Wow.
Wait. I was just going to ask Zach because they made the announcement here in the stadium that
The only way you can get a defensive delay game is if you like manipulate the ball,
right, or
after
fake an injury
play.
or something like
Yeah.
that. They are cracking down on that nowadays.
It's a trick that Sean likes to use in his softball league every so often when he's around the bases. He can't get home.
It ain't
So
fake. It ain't fake.
he used the Ryan Howard special. So we have a 2nd and 13 for Millville. 2 receivers set to either side. Running back to the right. He drops back to pass. The ball is being thrown. Oh my! We have a lottery ticket thrown to the outside.
I'll be honest, Zach. I was getting ready to just go ahead and be like,
I didn't even know if I was seeing it correctly.
I thought he was going to walk in.
I thought he was going to start doing the Dion strut into the end zone from the 30-yard line, but the pass is broken up. That's a really deep throw. That wasn't even a bad pass. It was just so far out to the hash that it had to get there.
And that
so
was really
late.
the first time we've seen Millville kind of attempt a downfield throw.
I mean, for their quarterback where he's sitting in the pocket, for him to make that throw, that's like a 45-yard throw to the outside of the field. That's actually a pretty decent throw, but just gave so much time for the defensive backs to make it.
Because he actually was open, but Keaton Doyle was.
You see, he was almost towards like 20 yards towards that side of the field, thrown back 30 yards this way, 15 yards up the field. So as we have a little tunnel screen up the middle,
wow.
It looks like it's going to be a decent game for Millville as they break out. So he's going to be touched out of bounds around midfield, stopping a huge play. That's going to gain about 38 yards.
Yeah,
Sean, I was just waiting for the tunnel screen to get to them because they've done a tremendous job all year stopping the tunnel screen. That was the one time.
But that one right there, Zach, if you watch that D-line, they sold out on the pass rush, and there was just nobody back behind to make a tackle.
So it's actually a little bit less of a 30-yard gain. It's going to be like a 33-yard gain from the 12-yard line up to the 45. So a very healthy game for Millville to convert the third down. This will take over 1st and 10, 5 yards away from Delsea territory. Pass out to the flat. It's going to gain a first down, break a couple tackles on the play, up to the Delsea 40-yard line. If I hear correctly,
Smith.
There's another Devontae Smith. So that's the third Devontae Smith that I've heard about. Actually, it's the fourth. There's a professional UFC fighter, Devontae Smith. There's Devontae Smith on the Eagles. There's Devontae Smith on the Notre Dame defensive back secondary, and there's Devontae Smith on the Millville Thunderbolts. Ball's going to be at the Delsea 40-yard line. Millville 1st and 10 with under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Delsea desperately needing a stop here. Low shotgun snap. Messes up the mesh a little bit. We have a nice hit. Was that your boy Charles Mack on the play?
That is not, Zach. That was number 56.
Jaden Reyes again?
Reyes.
Jaden Reyes coming laying the stick. I saw the 50 out there. I couldn't read what the other number was, but the last couple of weeks we've been saying that name a lot. It feels like those are like such big momentum plays when you play a spread offense to make a physical hit like that, because the amount of times you're able to make a play like that, where there is a lot of opportunities with the short passes at the line of scrimmage and stuff like that, but the amount of times you're actually able to close in on a guy and get a hit like that in this type of offense is pretty varied.
Right.
So Millville 2nd and 10 after the short gain on the play from 39-yard line. Shotgun set again, trips to the left side. A little pressure up the edge from Luke here. Not too big of a gain. Does a good job for the receiver getting upfield. He's going to gain like 5 yards.
Delsea, I feel like has had really pretty good coverage for the most part against Millville. It just always seems like the first guy that's there is missing the tackle.
That's what happened on the kick return as well. There was a guy down there to make the play, and he just missed it, and then it was gone down the sideline. So they got to close a little bit with the pursuit angles, but Delsea's definitely flying for the ball. They just got to actually get there and make the plays. If they can create a turnover with a little peanut punch, that'd be awesome too.
I think they're going to need it now with Millville threatening now across midfield.
So Millville scores a touchdown here. That makes it a 15-point game. They go for 2. That can make it a 3-possession game. Or if they go for 1 or don't get the conversion, it'll still be a 2-possession game. So this will be crucial.
I mean,
if pass there.
If Delsea was playing the Philadelphia Eagles, they'd have him right where they want him.
And Sean, we're talking about Devontae Smith. If I'm going to guess a name for the receiver on that side, number 11, that looks like A.J. Brown. That's talking about the lack of height from the Millville side. That might be the biggest player they have on the entire side of their ball.
And that's what
right
I talked about earlier. I saw him split out wide against the freshman Donovan Hart, who I thought has played very well this year for Delsea as a freshman. But that did look like a big body matchup for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Really well.
You saw they went with a curl box out route too, but earlier in the game they went with a curl route. It was read perfectly and it was intercepted. So
the Delsea crowd is now turning up right now.
So 4th and 6 here. So Millville is going to call their second timeout in a big spot here. They'll go into the 4th quarter with at least only 1 timeout. Maybe they burn another one and go into the 4th quarter with 0 timeouts. Close game like this, that actually could come back to haunt them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, right now it's looking like they might not be the team that needs the timeouts in the 4th quarter, but you never know here. Momentum could flip on a dime.
So Sean, things aren't looking bright here at Citizens Bank Park.
Tell me something.
1 hit for the Phillies in 8 innings, and Muno Sosa with the only hit registered. A 4-0 deficit.
Zach, I might have been the only person in the tri-state area who was not excited for Red October because I've seen this movie 4 times already. It never ends well.
We have split backs in the backfield for Millville on 4th down with the guy in motion. A little bit of pressure. He's looking to flee the pocket a little bit. He's going to get close, and he's taken down right before the sticks. Looks like it's going to be a turnover on down. We'll see where they spot exactly at. Did they give him a first down?
No, Delsea balls.
Looks like he was about 2 yards short. I heard a little bit of quietness, made me feel like I wasn't saying the right things here, but he's going to be stopped 2 yards short. It's a good play right there. That was the first time we actually seen the Millville quarterback scramble. Had the yardage that he would need to gain. Maybe it extended a little bit, but a good chop down tackle.
Yeah, and again, it was none other than Keaton Doyle, who's been playing lights out for the Crusaders on defense.
He's been the best player on both sides of the field for Delsea so far tonight. So we'll see if that translates to offense, where Delsea takes over, still looking for the first points of the game. 37 seconds left on the clock. Delsea with limited time to go. Trying to put their first points on the board for the night. As Amir Chester on the carry. Looks like Delsea's diving into the wingback depth here, trying to stay fresh for the 4th quarter. As Delsea's going to let the clock run to the 4th quarter. Trailing 9-0 here in Franklinville, John Oberg Stadium. Millville carrying a lead into the 4th quarter, 9-0 over Delsea. John, we got 12 minutes left of action here. Delsea hasn't really been able to capitalize on pretty much anything. Where do you think they need to start from to actually get points on the board here?
I mean, we've been saying it all game that I think it needs to start with getting the ball to Milo in space, but I think Millville has done a terrific job in knowing that that is the main cog in this Delsea offense that you've got to stop. And they've really executed that to perfection so far tonight. So I'm not really sure if Delsea is going to be able to do that. I guess you would have to lean on the counters and getting outside with Hernandez. That's been the most explosive plays they've had so far. And if you can maybe get the passing game going a little bit here, because it just doesn't seem like the runs from Milo are there.
I think they really need to lean on the two St. Joe's transfers. I think they've been arguably the two best players on the field tonight, Nick Hernandez and Keaton Doyle, number 3 and 4. And I think they need to really lean into that on both sides of the ball and see if they can create a little bit of explosion. So Delsea gets set to take over first play of the fourth quarter. As they run a counter, they get stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Kyle Schwarber puts the Phillies on the board, so he does know how to hit in October.
That was Trey Turner.
Oh, they thought they said it was a Schwarbomb.
Kepler triple. Trey Turner single. Bring him home. 4-1. Phillies, bottom of the 8th. As Delsea takes the handoff here. Stop short once again. There's not too much going on. It seems like the Delsea trenches tonight are really struggling to create an offensive line structure for their skill position players to run behind.
Chester comes up limping there after that carry, Zach.
Delsea's defense has played really well tonight. They're trying to keep themselves in the game, but their offense can't really do too much. I don't know what they can really do with how their offense is operating to get themselves in a good 4th and 13 spot. So punting doesn't seem ideal here, but it seems like one of the best.
Thank God Luke Van Auken is as big as he is, Zach, because that ball was snapped about 20 feet in the air.
We have a penalty on the backside of the play here. We'll see what the flags are on. Maybe that can push Millville back a little bit here.
I believe the referee just signaled holding.
Let's see where this flag is going to be assessed on here. 10:30 left on the clock in the fourth quarter. Millville still up 9-0 over Delsea in Franklinville. Holding against Millville. So that will push them back. So if the air and snap, Delsea is actually going to improve on the field position a little bit here. That's going to push Millville back to the 37-yard line. 63 yards to go as Delsea's scrambling to get onto the field. There's going to be a substitution flag here. It looks like there's like 14 Delsea Crusaders on the field at one time.
And it didn't help, Zach, because Millville almost picked up the first down on the play.
As the refs are sorting things out here. So we have one of the longest discussions of the year.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to do the math in their head on how many guys are out there.
So we have a science equation going down the field here.
Maybe they're just streaming the Phillies game out there, Zach, and they're watching Schwarber's at bat real quick.
Are they deciding on what the calls are in the baseball game too? I think they're discussing whether the amount of yards gained makes it make sense for the field goal or for the penalty to be assessed or not. I think that's what the discussion is. But it looks like the penalty will be assessed, and they'll do it that way.
And that will be an automatic first down for Millville.
Ball will be at midfield now, just about the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 for Millville. As we have another handoff off the left side. Decent gain here. Gain about 4 yards. And Sean, just with 0 points on the board here this late into the game, I don't know if this is what the type of momentum you want to bring into having a game in what, less than 60 hours from now?
Right.
Because we have another carry on the inside.
There's Adrian Shepard coming in and making a big hit there in the middle.
As the clock's ticking, around 9:30 left. I mean, Delsea gets a stop here if they can get the offense to do anything. I mean, they still have a chance in this game. Millville's definitely taking its time to get us to the line of scrimmage, but this game is not over by any means. Might just take one spark play in the special teams department for Delsea to get back into this game the way that Millville got onto the board originally. So we're going to have a huge game from Millville on a set QB keeper. Could be a game of about 30. Sean, anytime you see the non-set quarterback take the snap, you kind of know what's up there. And it just seems like that was the second time Millville's done that tonight, and Delsea hasn't really reacted the way that you would think when you don't see the natural starting quarterback under center.
Yeah, it just looks like the speed was a little too much for Delsea there around the edge.
1st and 10 from the 16-yard line of Delsea for Millville, looking to increase their 9-0 lead. As he breaks a tackle, and he's going to get out of the pack, and he's going to go into the end zone for a touchdown. That's a name that I now know. Reginald Holly has been beating up on Delsea for the past couple minutes here as he takes the ball into the end zone to cap off the long run that he just had. 16 yards for the touchdown. It's going to be 15-0 as it stands now about Millville, and they can elect to go for a 3-possession lead here if they go for 2. Looks like they're going to go for a 1-point conversion and just the extra point. As the kick's going to be good, so now Millville will lead 16-0 here in Franklinville with 8:42 left on the clock.
Yeah, that might have been the dagger there, Zach, as Delsea not only will now have to hit explosives, but they're going to have to hit multiple, and they haven't really been able to do much so far tonight outside of that big Hernandez run. It's going to be an uphill battle for Crusaders in the final 8:42 here in the game. But like you said, defense has been keeping them in the game for the most part. It's time for the offense to hold up their end of the bargain. And I think, honestly, Zach, we saw right there on that drive, it's the first time we've seen Millville actually rip off and have success in the ground game. I think the tempo has finally caught up with the Crusaders here, with the players going both ways and then having to deal with that tempo all night.
Yeah, and also that's why the game had to be rescheduled because of the virus that was going around, so we don't know how much that's going to take to effect. But this just worries me, saying all this with them having a game in literally 60 hours. So. And they go on a stretch of games, 3 on the road here, in a spot where now if they drop this game, which likely they're heading in that direction, they'd be 3-3 with 3 road games coming up. They're not in the best spot, but we'll see what Delsea can do as the game is not completely over here at Franklinville as they receive the kickoff. Explosive run, a couple broken tackles, ball brought out to around the 38-yard line. Seems like the only time Delsea's really had any momentum with the ball in their hands has been with Hernandez with the ball in his hands.
Definitely. I feel like he probably hasn't done a lot so far for Delsea. When it comes to in terms of explosive plays and being like a game changer in the offense. But tonight it seems like he's really found his role, and he's been a guy that they've leaned on so far, and he's been the only bright spot thus far.
As Delsea takes over 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line, 8:30 exactly left on the clock here. So we have a little pass play. The ball's ricocheted and intercepted.
Intercepted by number 21, 69 to go.
It looks like Milo's the one that ends up making a tackle on the play as well. There is a flag on the play. We'll see. Does it look like the intended receiver? The interception will stand because the holding was on the interception return. John, it looked like that pass was intended for Luke there on there. And
it was a little behind him. He was able to get a hand on it, but Millville was right there. As Delsea had another receiver behind Luke, so Millville's corner was right there for the interception.
There was pressure breathing down Milo as he made that pass, but he stepped really far outside. He was almost on the sidelines.
Yeah.
That ball, so maybe that messed up the rhythm time of the ball back over the middle of the field. But Delsea looked to open up the offense a little bit to start the drive, and it didn't work out as they turned the ball back over to Millville, who takes over in their Delsea territory at the 37-yard line. As the clock ticks under about 8 minutes left, Millville holding a commanding 16-0 lead over Delsea and Franklinville. Ball on the Delsea 34-yard line, 2nd and 7. Delsea only having 2 times to stop the clock if need be. It's going to be a handoff off the middle. Doesn't gain too much on the play. As it'll be 3rd and 8 from the 35-yard line for the Millville offense. Millville taking their grand old time to get to the line of scrimmage, huddling up.
They're going to be running your close act to a delay game, to be honest with you. And they only have 1 timeout left. And there it goes, right on cue. Millville uses their final timeout.
I feel like that wasn't. I don't really understand why you would use the timeout there in a 2-possession game. Like anything could happen. You have 1 turnover and 8-16.
Well, I don't think they had a choice. I think they were 100%.
They just burn a timeout in a game where it could come back to hold for whatever reason. I feel like that just wasn't necessary.
Right.
5 seconds. It doesn't mean anything. You're still in a commanding situation. You're really burning a timeout resource.
Can you ask why don't I do the fundraising for the Ray, what's that question?
Really?
We'll be talking about that wasn't done by your parents. You stopped that on the something else. There's a lawsuit about that.
We're going to be 30 that money. 6:53 left in the clock in Millville. Pass the ball completed. Yes, it's complete. It's going to be a first down. Down number 3, Doyle. And that's a Millville first down. It's going to be a Millville first down. Trying to get Kenny to that. There's socks. You guys sound love the state.
Getting you back to the field real quickly. Hold on 1 second. Get you back to the field. Millville 1st and 10 from the Delsea 21-yard line. 6 minutes left on the clock. Short carry, and the play doesn't gain too much from Millville.
Number 31, Isaiah Chester.
Second and 9 from the 20-yard line. 5:45 left on the clock for Millville. Once again, holding a commanding 16-0 lead here in Franklinville. We have another Wildcat play that is not registered from the Delsea defense as he cuts all the way back. Reginald Holly scholarship right now with his play. He's had about 150 yards of scrimmage yards in the past quarter and a half, it seems like, Sean. As the clock actually stops with 5:27 left. First and goal from the 3-yard line for the Millville offense, looking to go up 3 possessions here. Seems like if Millville can punch it in here, which they do, Delsea can't overcome this deficit, as it's going to make it a 22-0 lead for Millville here in Franklinville. So this has to feel really good for a team that was 1-4 coming into this game. It's almost like UCLA, Penn State territory of what we're witnessing right now.
Yeah, it definitely feels good if you're on the Millville side. Delsea come into this game with a 3-2 record, with a 3-0 with Iowa at quarterback. So no good.
No good. 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game. Millville 20.
The score will remain 22-0 for Millville. That's an missed extra point. As we're winding down action here at John Oberg Stadium, 5:20 left on the clock, and Millville holds a commanding 22-0 lead here in Franklinville. Sean, with a game in 60 days, how do you, or 60 days, 60 hours, as I keep referencing, how do you set up this last 5 minutes of action here? Do you want to build momentum for the next couple of days when you get back into action, or do you want to kind of rest guys so they're not injured and rested up?
That's where my thought process went, Zach, is I would probably want to just go ahead and throw the backups in, as this one's going to be out of reach, and just try to rest guys up and then go into Thursday healthy with a fresh start. Hernandez again as a bright spot for the Crusaders. They're on the return.
I feel like to get through this week, they're really going to have to lean on that wing back and utilize all those guys, because it's going to be tough to see who's even ready in the next couple of days with the way that this team's going, especially just working with the short window of time that they have before their next game.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like the fullback depth is there right now. Zach, I don't know if you noticed, but the backup second-string fullback Jordan Palillo, who has flashed a little bit when he's gotten into garbage time this year, is
Yeah, it's definitely not good. Maybe they're resting them up. We'll have to get more on that for you guys for the next game. I know that they could switch some other things back with the guys that so that's just more moving pieces like they had to do with the quarterback position earlier in the year, which did not work out, obviously, as we saw. As Delsea takes over here, 1st and 10. That's getting involved in the action once again. Offsides on Millville. It's going to be a 1st and 5 for Delsea, moving the ball up to the 28-yard line. Also get ready for the snap here. A little counter action, and Millville back in the backfield once again.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Zach. It seems like the game's kind of gotten away from the Crusaders. Both offensively and defensively, they're not getting off the line of scrimmage anymore. And the defense just isn't tackling. A lot of big plays, and then on that touchdown run, they just walked to the end zone. It looks like the tempo has really gone to the Crusaders as this game went on. The fatigue is definitely setting in. As you said, dealing with a virus, and now playing here on Monday night and having to face this tempo with a lot of guys playing both ways the full game. Seems like they've kind of ran out of gas.
Yeah, it's just been really significant how there really hasn't been too much going on with the offense and the defensive line for Delsea at all tonight. It just seems like they don't really have the same snap getting off the ball, and it really is evident that's one of the reasons why they fell behind in this game is from the effort from the offense and defensive line tonight. We've seen flashes from the skill position players. We've seen the defensive backside plays. We've seen Renee. We've seen Peyton Doyle. It just seems like the trenches aren't really there tonight. As we're under 4 minutes here in Franklinville, 3rd and 1 from the 32-yard line. As the ball is fumbled off the right tackle, barely getting back on it is Milo. He's going to lose some yards from the play. I said it'll be a loss of about 2 to 3 yards. As Delsea comes out with another punt.
And that is a boom
kick. Got there to hear that. Foot connects with the ball here.
Millville came very close to touching that, Zach.
It looks like that's officially going to be what, a 46-yard? 46.
Yeah, that was a boomer at a Luke right there.
So we saw a 38-yarder, a 41-yarder, and now a 46-yarder from Luke tonight.
It's sad to say, you gotta feel like that'll be the last possession of the game. We talk about Millville just kind of having their way on the ground so far in the fourth quarter. They're probably going to be able to go ahead and just run out this remaining 2:52 on the clock.
Not the result Delsea wanted tonight. Like we said, really the home game's going to tail like 2 different types of teams that we've seen. Either a team that comes out hungry and is explosive and doesn't shoot themselves in the foot, and then the other team that makes a lot of mistakes and kind of just beats themselves. It was very magical for a long period of time. 9-point deficit. Those 2 plays happened back to back, and it seemed like they were just stuck like that for a very long time. So Millville was the one that moved the needle to get the actual deficit higher than it.
Yeah, whoever didn't watch this game tonight, if you just read the newspaper tomorrow or check out the score online, you're going to be like, damn, Millville dominated Delsea, but it really was a close game for about 3.5 quarters before Millville just pulled away late here.
We have another long run from Millville here as he's getting tracked down. Looks like Luke on the tackle. Seems like a lot of the runs are leaking at the second level for the Delsea defense right now. As we're coming up on 1:30 left to play here, Millville taking their time with a commanding 22-0 lead in Franklinville over Delsea. Split back to the backfield here, shotgun set. Condensed look, just the QB keeper. Doesn't gain too much on the play. Probably one of the last offensive plays we'll see from Millville tonight. winding up on the last play here in Franklinville. Delsey's going to drop to 3-3 on the season. See if Millville gets points on the board here on the last play, or if Delsea does. A little solid run into the inside. There'll be a 35 seconds left in the clock. Doesn't look like either team is going to keep it running, as that's going to wind down action here at John Oberg Stadium. Disappointing result for the Delsea Crusaders that they dropped to Millville 22-0 homecoming night at home. Like we said, the schedule coming up for Delsea in the next couple of weeks. They had the last 3 games on the road. They actually have action on Thursday of this week, again versus Holy Spirit at 6 o'clock. Then they'll be on the 17th at Williamstown. Friday night, 7 o'clock start, and then the following week, the 24th, to end the season at Mainland, 6 p.m. game. So thank you guys for tuning in with me and Sean. We'll have Sean hop back on here real quickly, give you guys a little outro. So, Sean, obviously that wasn't the result that we wanted to see from Delsea today, but like I said, the big thing that I took away was the offensive defensive line. It just really didn't seem like they showed up at all tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was just a mismatch from size and talent-wise from the Millville team tonight, but yeah, Delsea kind of did get pushed around in the trenches on both, and then, like we said, but they held tough. Though it was a close game for about 3.5 quarters, and then my opinion, I think it was the fatigue from the tempo that Millville was showing that really set in and affected this Crusaders team, and they just couldn't last and ran out of gas there. And they're going to fall to 3-3, and it doesn't get any easier. Like you said, turning around in 2 days, playing a really tough Holy Spirit team, and then finishing out the year with Williamstown and Mainland as well on the road.
Yeah, especially 3 on the road when you have to play 2 games in the same week. This close together is tough. We also don't know how much the virus and that had to deal with, but it just seems like this whole year that they've had like different types of like intangible circumstances that they've had to deal with the virus, and then their quarterback being injured as well. So it's been a tough stretch of time, but it's a game to get back and get right. But I don't know what the circumstances will be for Thursday, but they're definitely behind the 8 ball in that scenario, trying to gear up for another game within less than 72 hours from now.
Absolutely, it's going to be a quick turnaround and another tough circumstance. But Delsea has overcame adversity all year, and they're not by any means out of a playoff race. So just got to go ahead, regroup, and chalk this one up and move on.
Especially if they can get into the playoffs, build some character on the road to end the season, win a couple games on the road, get some momentum, and then feel comfortable wherever you play out. Because most likely you'll have to take your talents in the playoffs if you get in on the road to begin anyway. So, but hopefully they win the last 3 games of the season, qualify for a home playoff game, and then you'll see us back on the broadcast. But if not, that'll actually be the last game of the season that we will be doing for you guys. So it's been 4 games, 1 scrimmage, so 5 times we've been able to present to you guys these Delsea games. I felt like we finally got the camera down packed. The last game, they say the best for last. But hopefully we'll be back for you guys with some playoff action this year. If not, maybe some different Delsea athletics in the near future, or just for the football season next year. So, but this won't be the last you're hearing from What's the Deal Sports' Zach Deal and Red Hot Lock Sean Redden. Sean, plug yourself up with some action. Usually it's a Friday and we're leading into like the sports weekend, but we don't have that right now. But what can they expect from Red Hot Locks in the near future?
Yeah, the Green Zone. Been doing every Saturday morning for the entire NFL college football season. I'm going to actually start doing on Friday nights now that our broadcast is done. So, so Friday night, probably around 9 o'clock, Green Zone this week for NFL and college football betting picks.
For sure. And you guys can catch the Pies on Sports podcast, the podcast I'm involved with on Sundays. And also just hop in that What's the Deal Sports Discord if you want some free sports betting plays. So thank you guys for letting us run you through some Delsea Crusaders football this season. Hopefully this isn't the last time we get to present some home field John Oberg Stadium action for you guys. But if it is, we'll see you guys next season. So
absolutely.
What's the Deal Sports and Sean Redden signing off.